Oh man, what's going on, y'all? Let's get this show on the road. Get it in. All right, let's turn off this chill lo-fi jazz action. Let's move over to the important parts over here. DOS charts. Dun, dun, dun. What is this? Oh, we got to get some auto scaling going. And let's hide that. And let's go full screen. Bam, bada boom. Hey, what's up? This is Z-Rex. It's No Noise live. It is Wednesday, the 3rd, 2023. February, I guess. We should throw the month in there. Hope y'all are having an awesome hump day. Again, we're doing the shows Monday, Wednesday, Fridays between 9 and 11. I am a little bit late today. There's some crazy weather down. Oh my God, no. You shut your damn mouth. We're not going to be hearing that all stream. Let me turn that off. That's just some of my intraday alert crap. All right, that is turned off. I don't have to worry about that now. Let me check some stuff. All right, we got that. Yeah, it's a little crazy down here in central Texas. This little ice storm just knocked down a bunch of trees and people ain't got power. My son's mom doesn't have power, so I got a little extra daddy duty this week, which I'll take. That's fine. I'm not mad about that. Extra time with the kiddo. But we're just barely late here. And again, I haven't nailed down the time. It'll be between 9 and 11. At some point, I'll have the hard time for that. But for now, let's get into some price action and start with Mama Bear, aka Bitcoin, as we usually like to do. And let's just do some daily action. So, looks like yesterday we had an attempt to get over 24,000 right up to my horizontal up here. And it did get rejected, but hey, I mean, it did get over 24, so that's cool. We haven't seen it do that yet, so that's kind of nice. It did kind of close back down with a semi shooting star type candle. Not super ugly. It's like, man, it's kind of crazy that bulls haven't been able to push this yet past 24K. It's just really, price is really showing us that 24,000 ain't no freaking joke. And if we do get above 24K, I mean, we're talking, let's see, let's zoom out a little bit here on the weekly. Oh my gosh, we need some auto. Then we'd probably look for, I think, 26 to 28 and change is pretty easy, maybe even 30-ish. 30 is going to be like the next pretty hard line there. Let's pull some fib numbers real quick and see what we got here. Yeah, so 382 is in the 27,000 handle. So yeah, I would expect some pretty good resistance in 27,000 and change. So between 27 and like 30 is kind of the next target over 24K. And then after that, we are getting a little ahead of ourselves. After that, comes mid 30s, which would be pretty wild. Bitcoin's done crazier stuff, so nothing's off the table, especially in this wild market with the insane jobs report this week and all the Fed talk and blah, blah, blah. The market went absolute bananas yesterday. If y'all watch charts a lot, y'all probably saw that. Although Bitcoin didn't really do shit, which is surprising. But which we'll get to here in a second, but just to flash over there real fast. I mean, we did 1.5% almost. NASDAQ just absolutely went bananas. 3.5% yesterday. I mean, this thing is just reaching for the sky. I think it's up 20% year to date. I mean, that is so wild. In 1 month, we're already at 20%. Let's go. Let's zoom in a little bit. We are still kind of making little higher highs and higher lows on this 8-hour-ish time frame, which is the 458. It's close to 8 hours if you don't have a paid subscription for a trading view. But anyway, I mean, so you could make a pretty decent case that if we're staying above 23,000, that bulls kind of have the advantage. So that looks kind of nice. I just really want to see above 24K. And until that happens, I can't get uber bullish. And especially with this just straight up move. like we see here. We have lost a lot of the momentum. We're not below 70-ish yet, but underneath the gray lines here, it's like a moving average that I have, a special moving average on RSI. But again, I mean, just without all that crap and looking at pure price action, above 23,000, you can't get too mad about the bulls, and can kind of write off the bears for now. Let's see what futures say. Man, right up to that horizontal again with a doji. So we are getting confirmation that this level is the critical flipping point. Indecision is what dojis mean, and a doji looks like this, where you get a little tiny body and pretty much equal wick and tail on the candle. So we do have a very well-defined doji right underneath major support. I'm sorry, major resistance. So yeah, again, confirming 24K is the number, y'all. It hasn't changed in 2 weeks of doing these videos, and it's not changed yet today, and we're not broken over it yet either. So, and we do have a gap, very noticeable gap right here on the daily between 19.5 and like 20.5. So gaps generally do get filled, mind you. It might not be, this week or next week. It might be next month or the month after that, but gaps almost always do get filled. So I would expect a retest of this zone at some point, which actually bodes well with the narrative we've been discussing that, if we can get the bulls to retest to confirm about the 20-ish thousand area and then take off again, that would be super constructive instead of this just straight vertical crap. Because when you get straight vertical, man, a lot of times you just get straight elevator too. So, all right, GBDC doing the same thing yesterday, a little indecision doji. But again, I'm just going to keep leaning on that 23K area right now. So if we stand above about 23,000, you can't get too mad about the bulls. Let's see what Ethereum's doing. Ethereum's just kind of posted up over here. Another rejection candle yesterday. Kind of definitely shooting star-esque. And bulls are attempting to run this thing back up. Let's see, we're at about 1660-ish. Let's zoom in a little bit. Kind of same pattern as Bitcoin. Almost a new high. I mean, I guess technically it is a new high by like $5. That's pretty meh attempt. And you can see we actually have a doji too on the 458. So pretty interesting. And just like Bitcoin at its 23,000 level, you can pretty much use about 1600-ish. If you want to be more conservative, like 1630 on Ethereum. And as long as it's above that, it doesn't look too bad. There's definitely mega resistance. We break above here in this zone at about, we can just call it 1700 flat. We probably look for close to, like just shy of 1800, which would bang us up into this trend line. And the longer it goes sideways, the more, then we just kind of get pressure from that trend line. So, which has been respected for a while now. Let's see. Where are all my moving averages? We need to put those back on. Hold up now. There we go. Excuse me. Oh, right underneath the mama average. Man, it's close. It kind of does look like it wants to run a little bit. We just need to get bulls just get a little bit higher, man. Just go over 24K, and then it's just going to go to the moon. All-time highs probably by the end of the month. No, I'm just kidding. But that would start to look very, very sexy. Let's see what futures on Ethereum look like. But now, the 3-hour. Let me look at some oscillators. We are erasing some of this bearish divergence that we spoke of. Let's see if that's present also on the spot price. Oh, yeah, it is. So we are erasing some of that divergence. We were talking about that on Monday. That would be nice to see if bulls could kind of negate that, which they have done a fairly good job. Let's see if I didn't look at that on Bitcoin has not done that. So only Ethereum did it. You can clearly see this kind of sloppy trend line, somewhere in here. And this is on RSI, so it's always going to be a little sloppy. Let's change this color. So you have something like that, just to kind of track the slope of here. And so we didn't get that on Bitcoin. So only Ethereum. So that's a little bit different price action. Let's see. Man, but yeah, above this 16 like 20 handle, I mean, it doesn't look bad, man. It really doesn't. Man, it's just such a precarious spot. Like I'll tell you one thing, I will not take longs way up here. This is not for me personally. This is not the time you would get long is like way up at the top. Not without some confirmation. Their chances to get long. There's plenty of them from the pretty much for the whole last month of January. So buying up here is definitely super high risk, in my opinion, of course. Litecoin still kind of pumping, hanging out right underneath a hundo. That was kind of the target we were looking for here. Two trend line crosses right in the low hundreds, like 102 to 104. That's definitely major resistance there. Let's zoom in a little bit. Still making higher highs and higher lows. Come on, internet. There we go. Still higher high, higher lows. So, I mean, Litecoin, Monero, there's a couple of them that have been bullish for a lot longer than Mama Bear. So, and it's kind of continuing its run. Does it have the divergence? A little bit, but it's not as ugly as Bitcoin's. Yeah, and it kind of negated it on the lower time frames in the last few days. So pretty interesting. But again, man, major resistance in the $100 level. So we start getting back above 105 and get comfy under there. I'd probably look for like 130 would be my next target. And conversely to the downside, losing like $90, I'd start to question the bull strength. And obviously this trend line too would do it for me. Let's see, Ethereum Classic. A lot of these are probably going to look the same. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's like it's about to do a triple doji pattern. I don't know if that's a technical pattern. Crypto does weird stuff sometimes. You can actually see back here it did it like 5 weeks in a row. And then a shooting star and then downward continuation. So we're kind of just lollygagging here. And most of these shit coins are waiting for that 24,000 level on Bitcoin. I can almost guarantee that. 40 pennies, lollygagging. There's not going to be much here with these shit coins. I mean, just super sideways. I'd say this kind of sucks below 42 pennies. Nothing really nice meme number there. But it's also not great. I'm saying it's also not bad above like 39. So we're just in a super tight range. Again, probably waiting for Bitcoin to confirm. Let's see, XLM, same shit, different day. I mean, it's literally been the same for the last 5 videos and streams. So, like, you can even see these two, the red and the green crosses here, just building the range for us. So it's like 8.8 cents. That's the same as it's been for a while. And about 9.5 pennies. So until it's out of that range, this is 50-50 all day. There is not really any edge there on that. Kind of be the same shit again. Tron is trying. Generally, I do like this type of formation, kind of like a high flag. You know, like a traditional flag would be something like this, or like a pennant, you know, something like this. And I'm not exactly sure if this actually has a name when you see something kind of like this, like an upward sloping pennant. But that's kind of what we got right now. And I generally do like these for continuation to the upside. And they are pretty easy to play, so you can kind of just wait for, you can see all this business looking left. Man, when you zoom out a little bit, because this stupid wick over here messing up my chart. You can look left over here, and you can clearly see that about 6.5 cents is major resistance. So until we start getting a couple dailies above that, can't get super excited. But I will say, if we get a few dailies and definitely a weekly open and close above 6.5 pennies, we're probably looking for mid 7s at least, and maybe even a stretch up to like 8.5 cents. And this is a very defined descending triangle, and it's attempting to break out right now. So what we don't want to happen, what we don't want to happen for bulls is for this to get rejected and get back below like 5.8 pennies. this little cluster and all this cluster and all this business. You can kind of see that right there. If that happens, that would be a false breakout, and we could look for swift moves in the opposite direction to range. So that would probably put us all the way down to about 5 pennies flat, and then we'd have to reassess. So again, a lot of 50-50 shots kind of building here without getting confirmation either from the individual coin you're looking at or really from Mama Bear just getting over 24K would do it too. Oh, look at Dot. Polka Dot says, F it, we're rallying. We don't give a shit. We're going to the moon. It's going to be at all-time highs probably by the end of the week. Here's that kind of pattern I was saying where it generally kind of will just make higher highs, higher lows in the flag. So pretty nice. It does have bearish divergence, though, here to here to here. So it's got 3 stabs on the daily. Not the sexiest thing, but that doesn't spell doom and gloom when we're going back to the lows. But it is definitely noteworthy that we might see a little mean reversion, back to about $6. And that would actually be healthy to build the chart out like that. So interesting. We got a couple movers here on Dot. Looks like we might get a final open and close above the 21. So Dot showing a little bit of strength coming through. Major resistance, though, here at about 720-ish. So we're only about 15 cents away from that. But nice little move on Dot. ADA is just kind of cruising up here. We got a little trend line action, something kind of like that. Oh, I don't want it like this. I want the dotted. There we go. Something kind of like that. This is pretty damn steep, but hey, until it breaks this or loses, 39 cents, you can't really hate it too much. And man, bet your ass if Bitcoin goes over 24,000 again and starts holding above it, this thing will probably test up in this range, which is between 4.5 and 5.5 pennies. So that could easily be a target there. It's like we're just almost there, y'all. Kind of same structure here. I mean, all of these kind of look the same, man. They really do. Just kind of struggling right at their major resistance levels. EOS, same shit, getting squeezed by the long and short-term moving averages. Just got to keep waiting. Bulls playing with fire. Yeah, you could. That's a good way to say it. And I just don't like when it's straight up, man. I like more sine wave type stuff, like more a healthy bull kind of does like so, right? It doesn't just go like, oh, I got this, shing, shing, shing. We've all seen what happens when markets do that, right? So here's a good example. Oh, look, it's so bullish. Look at this. It's amazing. Oh, crap. This is like a round trip market is kind of what some traders will call this. Round trip action. So it looks so good, and then it just gives up all the gains. And pretty much the equal amount of time, too. So it's like, oh, yes, it's epic. Ah, shit, it's not. All right, let's go to BSV, everyone's favorite person. Satoshi. The real Satoshi. Yeah, garbage. It's just chilling here. But hey, man, this might be a good trade, though, since it's been lagging. And you can actually see these the tails on the bottom are trying to kind of get bought up on any little dips. BSV is very, I don't want to say it's very illiquid, but it's illiquid relative to like pretty much all the other coins, all the other majors. But if Bitcoin breaks 24K, this thing is going to run. So I would look for probably like 50 to 60 bucks on this if Bitcoin could do that. So this might be a sleeper play, and I am watching this closely. If Bitcoin does go over 24K, that is a trade idea that I'm keeping in the back pocket of buying some Bitcoin SV, because there's actually building and stuff going on over there. So might burn down the Bears house. Yeah, they could. They definitely could be doing that. We just got to see. If they get over 24,000, they definitely are blowing down those little piggies' house, or I guess little bear's house. Let's see. Up, down, up, down. This is okay. Getting a little bit vertical. It's not as vertical as some of the other stuff we see. Kind of draw a little sloppy line like that. Monero. Surprisingly, Monero is cooling off here. It's one of the coins that was looking good, making higher highs and some higher lows. Maybe it's just coming down here to 160-ish to test before continuation. But it's one of the only ones that's actually opened and closed its weekly above the mama. Now, one thing on this, false breakouts lead to fast moves in the opposite direction. So, and they usually test the other side of range. So if we do start getting breakdowns here, which I would consider getting comfy below like 167, 166, I would look for like upper 140s at minimum on a test there. And then conversely, just riding this thing up. I mean, if it just keeps doing this, chills and goes up, I mean, because you got to prepare for both sides because we don't know what the shit's going to happen. So you just got to plan your trade your plan. Very, very important. Very important. You go in with no plan, then you're going to have no plan to exit and trade on emotions and probably lose money. And if you make money off of that with no plan, you're probably lucky or the market's going to reward bad behaviors. And that's not a long-term success story. That's for sure. And I might know that from experience a little bit from losing and blowing out a few accounts by trading that way. Just possibly. ZEC. This one's kind of just going sideways as F, man. What is this? It's going SAF. Sideways as F, which is just the SAF move here. So range bound to all hell between 44 and like 48-ish. Till it gets out of that, you can trade the ranges, and as you can see, this has been actually pretty. Every day you're almost hitting both sides of the range, so not terrible for some range trading action. Just remember on range trades, whenever it finally does open and close above, it's fine if it wicks or does a little tail below it, whatever. The bodies of candles are way more important. Just remember, if it finally does open and close above or below that range, your range trade is over. Don't let your ego get in the way. Accept that price is telling you it's about to probably move that way. The odds are in that favor, and move on to a different strategy. Let's see. Dash has just been straight vertical. I mean, Jesus Christ, 50 to 63 right here in this cluster. So I'd expect a little bit of resistance right here at about 65 bucks. Which you can see we already have backed off. It looks like almost to the T. Yeah, 65.37. And that coincides very well with the top of this range here. So let's look at the weekly, zoom out a tad. Yeah, and then if you look on it left more, you got mega resistance. Look at the bottom of all this range. So former support becomes resistance after you break it, right? So we are just testing mega super resistance in the mid 60s on Dash. So I wouldn't be surprised for a little cool off time here. Let's go to Doji. What is the meme monster doing? Meme Lord. Just kind of keeps riding the trend line. And this is actually a sexier slope. A lot of stuff is like more vertical, like pretty much like this. Maybe that's a little dramatic, the first one. But the second one's not that dramatic. This one is, this is what I'm talking about. This kind of slower grind up, higher highs, higher lows, sine waving it out. This is way more constructive. I don't know if this is building up and Elon's about to moonshot this bitch because, he likes to do that sometimes and everyone just waits for Elon to tweet Doge or a picture of a sheep or something. But, very interesting. This thing clears like 9.66 pennies. I'd be looking for at least 11. And then after that, the next target is all the way up at 14.20. That's right. Of course it is. The numbers all have to be memed out. Look at where it based at right here at about 69 cents. That's right. It's real. Meme power, baby. Oh, so not too shabby. There is some speculation. There was a guy in here on the last stream was telling me something about payments. Elon switching some payments and getting ready to launch fiat payments with the intention of doing crypto later. He did not mention Doge yet. He was just talking about Bitcoin. So possibly on the horizon. I do think that that's definitely in the cards. We obviously don't know how much he has or holds, but I bet you it's quite a bit. And why not pump that shit, buy a bunch, and make himself a Doge billionaire? It'd be pretty hilarious. I mean, that's what I would do if I was in his shoes and had that influence and money. I mean, why wouldn't you do it? It's like, hell. So man, and I would say if that this chart's building up for some kind of accumulation here. What changes my mind on that to where it's lame as hell? Back below 8.8 cents. It's been the same for the last week and a half of videos. We start getting back below there, meh, not too good. Not too good. All right, let's go to hexagons. Hexagons are pumping right now. Oh crap, just hit the mic. Sorry about that. Wow, 50% pampage. Not too shabby. Right up against the 21 EMA. So probably a little resistance here. And you can see that clearly on the daily too with all this clustering right here. So at about 330-ish, 340 is pretty good resistance. And this one is not liquid at all. You can see these bullshit ass candles. So when I do trade this, I definitely use limit orders, and I usually put them lower than I think I want to get them because a lot of times it will fill. All right, H&T. Hey, look at this. I like this candle from Monday. That's a good close. Or wait, I'm sorry. Wait, that's Wednesday? Hold on. What's going on here? Why is this like skipping? Why is this? Oh, wait. Huh? Okay, no, that's right. I'm just retarded. That's okay. Derp. That was a derp moment. So Wednesday, nice candle. I actually like this above 280. This actually looks pretty good above 280. And we start clearing $3, I mean, I'd look for a test at least up here to like 330. And ultimately, this thing could move to like 380 pretty easily, maybe up against the 200 or this trend line up here. So not too shabby. I do really like the close on Wednesday. We didn't see that yet because I do the stream in the morning, and the closes are around 6 p.m. on the Central Standard Time. So not too shabby, man. Interesting on H&T. V-Chain. Also, nice close on Wednesday. This bitch looks like it wants to pump. You know what a lot of these change to do? They should just be like, oh, we're integrating Chat GPT, man. Let's moon, bro. I don't know if y'all seen that trend right now in the last week or two in stocks. Somebody will just mention Chat GPT. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I want to say GBT, but whatever. And it'll just pump like crazy. Here's a good example we'll just jump over to real quick. Oh, look, we're using Chat GPT. Oh, shit, let's pump 260% in one day. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So crazy, man. It has AI in the name. I don't know if you remember back when crypto was really hyped up. You know, if anyone just said crypto in like a press release or an earnings statement or something, this shit would happen. So it looks like AI is the new crypto right now, which is kind of funny. I'm surprised crypto's not adopting that with some of these shit coins and putting it in their dumb white papers and being like, oh yeah, dude, we're integrating this cool new AI project. Oh, pump it 80,000%. Which, hey, maybe some of this is from that. I don't know. I don't read a lot of all that stuff, but I'm mostly a price guy. But yeah, totally could be a thing. Anyway, Radix is pumping. It's continued to pump. Here's another example of that kind of upward sloping flag thing right here. And it did get follow through. And for a measured move on those, this one looks like it extended it. But you can kind of do flags. It's easy peasy. You just take the flagpole and you put it on top of the breakout level. And you can see we've already exceeded it so far, which it did end up running to, just like everything else, the summer or pretty much last year's consolidation phase before this little dump. And there we go. We're back up in the zone. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, that's a pretty girthy one, but building a little doji. So not too surprising that we're stalling here. What would get me excited again above 6.8 cents? Let's just call it 69 cents because that's the top of all this range, and that's a lovely number. So, and where do I get a little bit concerned? Back probably below 5.5 pennies on that one. Atom is pumping. Man, this thing has been pumping hard the last few days. Very nice. Looks like a lot of the closes on Wednesday's close was very sexy. That was redundant. Look, a lot of the closes on Wednesday's close. Anyway, we're just getting so damn frothy, man. Look at this damn thing. But hey, the cool outs on some of these runs might be super good entries for longer term because bulls are trying to make themselves known. So I do want to throw that out there. Again, we are coming up to the last year's resistance levels. You can see kind of everything is playing the same game right now. About 16 bucks. And as long as it's riding this trend, I don't really have any reason to think that it won't. Osmos. Yeah, coming up right up against the bottom side of the cluster. If it does want to catch up with the rest of the market, we're probably looking at like 140 on that. But it's just testing it right now, and you can see these wicks on the candles are getting rejected around the 120 area. So we're coming up on that now, only about 8 cents away. So yeah, maybe if we get above that, like 120, I'd definitely be looking for low 140s on this, and then we'd have to reassess. It again also has a trend line, although it is not as steep as some of the other ones. So I do like that, kind of like Dash coins. Ton's not pumping. It actually did not have a great candle on Wednesday, surprisingly, because it's been showing relative strength for a long time, all the way back to the summer, actually, last summer. Still looks pretty decent. Maybe it's just taking a little break. It has been pumping a lot harder than everything for longer. And this still looks okay above like 220. We lose 220, probably look for this trend line at minimum and then kind of have to reassess. And conversely, above this little cluster at about 250, I'd be looking for new highs on that if that happened. All right, let's go to the markets, the regular normie markets. We had our Fed crap yesterday. It looks like the market loved it. We had farm payrolls this morning. We added like 500,000 jobs. Yay, it's so amazing. The only thing about that, though, is if the Fed wants to do their whatever the shit is that they do, if they want to fall in line with what they're saying they do, more jobs actually kind of could lead to a bigger hike in the future. I don't know. All that shit is pretty stupid to me. I just like to watch price action. And if you look at charts, even around Fed times, it's like usually just stays in the range. And I mean, look, way before the Fed even talked, I mean, this was already building a bullish structure. And as we were talking about too, is like that 480 level. As soon as we get over 480, it kind of just opens up the door to like 4,200, which we hit yesterday. So it's like way before the Fed even said anything, the chart was already showing that. And I'm a firm believer the chart knows pretty much everything. This is the representation of every single person trading in the whole world at any given moment. Like you don't have more information than what this chart shows. I mean, unless maybe you're Elon and you know you're about to report some bad numbers or some crap or whatever, but dude, that's like 0.0001% of people, so it's pretty much insignificant as F. All right, let's see. Weekly, we are getting above the mama. I mean, this is starting to look pretty good. This could, I mean, above 480 now, former resistance becomes support. As long as we're staying above 480, I mean, that's pretty damn sexy. Can't be mad about that, man. So bulls are saying, suck it, bears. Let's go. They are burning that house down, as Anthony mentioned earlier. Pretty brutal. This is getting pretty vertical. Again, like a lot of stuff. The NASDAQ is where it's real vertical. Look at this bitch. Ciao. But shit, man, above 12,000 though. Bulls are kind of taking the reins here. It is not above the mama. But shorter term, above 12K, it looks fine. The one thing we do need to watch out for is bear market rallies. Bear market rallies are very, very real. And they're usually very aggressive like this too. So, if you know about the dot-com bubble, let me see if I can pull up a chart real quick. Give me one moment, please. And we'll share a little El Charto action. Yeah, because this is freaking vertical as F, dude. It's even more vertical than this move back in the summer. All right, let's see here. I got a little chart. Okay, let's see. Can I open this? Does this work? Okay. So if we kind of pull this in, you can see that, look at these market rallies here. Let me zoom in a little bit. And this is 2000 cycle, right? 2000 to '02. And look at this, up 19%, up 31%, 17, 14, 19, 28, 41, 11, 49, 12. I mean, look at these, 19. And here's, is this like the same right now? What we're seeing right now? I don't know. Just be wary of that. The biggest rallies and some of the biggest days on record for up moves and shorter period time frames have all come almost in bear markets. So, oh, you don't want to read all that. Have almost all come from bear markets. So that is definitely a noteworthy point to make. And we still haven't made a higher high over here. We really need to clear 13.3 on NASDAQ to look sexy time. I mean, this is pretty stretched. You can see right back over here, back last summer it did this and literally just made a little A and went all the way down. So could that happen here? Absolutely it could. This is not enough structure yet to totally negate the bears. You can see this trend line cross is also supporting this horizontal plus the mama. So it's not like there's nothing supporting that area for resistance. And the Dow hasn't done shit either. It's just kind of chopping between the 33.5 and 34.5 area. And so that's been kind of interesting. Until it gets out of there, the Dow is in range trading mode, which you can see it's been ping-ponging like a mofo most of this year and even a little bit of last year. Russell, all just freak. It got more vertical than it already was. Now we have a double speed line where it's like, you can't make this more straight than this. Like you literally cannot. Not with the time axis. It just doesn't work. So eventually this is going to break. At best for the bulls, it breaks and just goes sideways, meets this trend line, and then rallies back up again. Worst case scenario, it breaks this one and this one, and then at least probably goes and tests 1900 again. And then we'll have to kind of reassess there. But this structure is a little bit better than the other ones because we have an equal low here, and we are attempting to make a higher high, higher low structure right here, which we can kind of draw this trend line here. So we've got like 3 speed lines to kind of be watching. This one, the longer term, the shorter term, and the absolute shortest term. So pretty interesting. This is just getting a little frothy here. I mean, what is this? Freaking 6% in 3 days. You know, the average on S&P is like 6 or 8% for like a whole year. NASDAQ has already done 20% in a month. So, I mean, these are pretty wild numbers. But hey, you can't get too mad about the bulls if they keep holding those areas we mentioned. So, let's see. Man, even Dow Jones Transportation's breaking out now. It was kind of lagging from the last couple videos, and it's above the mama. It's above the trend line. It's girthy as F. We're above this red box of despair. And again, same thing with the other ones. We're above 15K. We were mentioning that level in the last videos. Now that is going to flip to support. So we stay above 15,000. Got to start switching your narrative. Now, is this aggressive as F? Yes, it is. That doesn't mean that it won't get continuation. We just need more data for that. Let's see what DAX is doing. DAX is coming up on major resistance. Oh, look, something else on major resistance. At about 15.7 handle. Man, it's almost back to its all-time highs. Wow, holy moly, that's crazy. And we also have a very, very steep line here as well. So that's the scariest thing about this. I know I probably said it like 3,600 times, but that is the scariest thing to me, that almost every single tradable is rallying just like the same exact way. Just moonshotting with almost vertical speed lines. That's just very interesting. So one thing I noticed this morning on VIX that I'm going to point out is, check this out. We got this trend line going back to December of 2017. And look at these tags. Tag, 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 tag. And look where we are right now. Tag. And look what kind of candle we're about to close on it. A doji. Very interesting to me. Is this bounce time from here? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really expecting something like this. This was Corona crash, but definitely interesting. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. We lose 18 bucks again, then whatever, and this breaks. But man, this has been respected for about 5 years. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely noteworthy. Definitely noteworthy. Oil is just taking a dump on itself. We got rejections here. We got the follow through, the extra follow through, cutting through the short term moving averages, and it's just been selling off ever since. I mean, this chart, this is bearish. This is pretty damn bearish below $76. So pretty nasty. Um, we lose 73 bucks, man. 70 is probably in the cards, and then there isn't major support until like mid 60s. So energy's getting absolutely mollywopped. Nat gas is taken to the shed behind the shed, and then the shed behind that. So it looks like it's putting lotion on or something now. This is pretty damn rough. It actually is the opposite of everything else, where everything is vertically up. This is vertically down. So, most stuff looks like this. So this is just going the other way. Cold weather be damned. F the nat gas. Doesn't matter. So this thing is just in freaking black hole mode. There is just, I mean, it's right on the bottom range of all this price action. You would expect some kind of bounce from around here, 240-ish. And look how far away it is from the shortest term moving averages. I mean, just from the 21 right now, let's see. It's freaking 25% away from the 21 EMA. I mean, that is like gargantuan percent. Oh, look at this. This was actually 25% away from that same level. Let's measure it over here just for shits and giggles. 24%. It had a little bit of a pump, but immediately rejected. So this is just black hole mode. It does have a little bit of support, or actually a lot of bit of support, to be fair, around 240. Bonds selling off today. I guess they didn't like that payroll report because we might have to hike more to curb inflation or whatever the shit they want to make up. And they just make shit up all the time, just like they revised that jobs report from a few months ago. It was like, oh, it's up 1.5 million. And they're like, well, actually, we're revising it to negative 200 and something thousand. Oh, okay, cool. Whatever. ZN, yeah, so their rates are definitely, bonds are definitely not liking that at all. Sorry, not rates. That's the inverse. So they're not liking that at all, anticipating a possible fatter hike than expected maybe in the March meeting, which is still a ways away. That's like mid-March or something, I believe. Breaking this trend line would be pretty ugly, man, and that could usher in some market pressure for sure. TMF is just a 3x leveraged version of the bonds. TNX. All right, let's just skip that. Wow, okay, look at the dollar. The dollar saying, yeah, let's hike some rates up, baby. That's probably why banks are doing fairly decent today, too. Tesla's actually murdering it today as well. We'll go look at that in a second because it's at a pretty critical point, I think, that we need to show. We do have a little trend line here. It's kind of a sloppy one, though. I mean, it only has kind of this touch. Yeah, so that's not that sexy. And we were kind of looking for support around the 100 level. We are getting that bouncing here. Does it continue? Possibly. It does look a little bit better for bulls above like 100 and 170. All right, euro dumping right. Man, it went right to that 110 level we've been watching, right to this trend line cross, and rejecting. Now we're already tapping the bottom end of that. Does it rally from here? No one knows, but it is pretty good support and has respected it for a few times. We lose 108, probably going to 106-ish, and maybe it squeezes up into this triangle here, possibly, but yeah, again, so market's kind of saying, oh shit, are they going to do 50 points at the next meeting? And gold and silver, dude, absolute murder fest. I mean, this is brutal moves. You did get a little bit of a warning shot here on gold. I mean, this is kind of rounding out already. And you got this shooting star rejection. Silver's the one that really gave the most warning. Then we're just getting all the follow through. So not sexy for precious metals, man. This is actually going to be pretty bearish below 1900. And we've been talking about this ad nauseum on silver, that it did not look super great below 2420. And until it got above 2420, you can't get super excited. I mean, look at the respect of this trend line. I mean, look at this. And the trend line cross. No joke. But hey, is this a rebuy spot for silver? One could make a pretty good argument for that. And I might take a small stab on SLV with some options on this, or possibly like Hecla Mining is a good one I like to play for silver, if y'all don't know about that one. It's one of the oldest mining stocks in the U.S. markets. It goes back to like 70 or 65 or something. Yeah, look at this. All the way back to, I was close, 68. It actually has been in a downward trend the whole goddamn time, which sucks. This is a monthly. Hell, this is so old, we can look at it on a 3-month. Let's go to a quarterly chart. One thing that is interesting is, look at this. Let's extend this triangle all the way out to here. Look, it's getting squeezed up in a symmetrical triangle for the last 20-something years, man. And the breaking point of this, the target I have up here at this green box, is all the way at like $15 to $40. If this could muster up the energy to get above like 750-ish, you know, to 8, let's just call it $8 to be safe. And that's currently. If it goes a little bit further, you know, it could be a little bit lower, but I like to be kind of conservative, especially metals. They take fucking forever to do anything. But absolutely gargantuan move. Even platinum, man, is breaking that level. I mean, 980 is that spot for the support we've been eyeballing. So that's why I'm going to take a little bit of a small stab on SLV, on futures. I'm sorry, on options, and just do some call spreads probably on that. And we can look at SLV. Let's see what it's doing today. Yeah, so it's pretty much in the same kind of area right here along all this bottoms. And previous resistance comes support, and that was the resistance. And now we're just testing it. So I'm just going to take some small trades on that and look for maybe a little target up here at 22-ish, 2150. So, and of course, that's what I'm doing. Do your own research. You know, don't just follow what the hell I'm trading. So, all right, GDX also getting rejected, obviously, which we were cautious as hell about. We even have like a little mini head and shoulders kind of up here with yesterday's close, a real tight one. And to be fair, it looks like we already kind of hit the move, though, just in one day. Let's see. Let's measure that out. Yeah, we pretty much have. It's a little bit lower at like $30 even. We are breaking the trend, but hey, we did get this little spike down, and then it immediately got bid the hell back up. So that's interesting. And we could just be testing the previous breakout zones, you know? If inflation is going to keep getting crazy, then metals should do good, you know, in the longer term. And metals do take a long time to move. So, all right, I think that's it. I don't see any tickers or anything to look at, so we'll probably just wrap this biatch up. Final thoughts, Bitcoin, get over 24K. Shit or get off the pot, man. What are you doing? Sub 23,000, I'd start to question this whole bull run and look for a move down to at least 20,000 something. Below 20K, I'd start to call this a false breakout, and then we're back in the range, and meh, it's meh mode. Above 24K, though, you know, probably getting close to 28,000 is definitely in the cards. So kind of just keep an eyeball on that. We've got Ethereum, same thing, about, let's just call it 1,700 because that's easy to remember. Then maybe we get a shot to close to 18, or just whenever that happens, just probably to the trend line, wherever that is at that moment in time. And losing about 1,600 I'd start to question this move. But so far the bulls are trying. I just can't get super confident when we're all markets are just rallying to their major resistance points and kind of just chilling so far. just a few more candles up here and kind of a little bit of pumping by the bulls over the next month or so could look really good for bulls kind of across the board on most markets. So that's pretty sexy time. What was it? Was I going to show one more thing? I don't remember. Let me look at the sectors real quick. No, most every sector's down, which is weird. How is energy up and oil is getting smashed on? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, Tesla. I was going to show Tesla because it's at a very interesting inflection point. See what happens? This is like the reverse of what I was talking about earlier. When you get the straight down action, a lot of times it just makes an A and goes right back. Round trip market. Down, up. But we're at a major inflection point on Tesla. You can see this horizontal 192. Generally, horizontals are some of the best TA you can do, in my opinion. They get respected a lot. And so we're major resistance right now for Tesla. Above 200 bucks though, we can probably look for 230. But I would not be surprised to see maybe a little test back down to like 160s. But just interesting spot here to rally right up to major resistance once again to last year's resistance and cluster areas. So VFF I saw. Oh, VFF 21. I did take some of this trade. We have come up to here. I was looking for about 115 to 17 was my target, which is this blue line. That's some fib stuff. So I actually already took mine off there from down here. But this is major test of resistance at 120. So yeah, could it fill the gap? Yeah, most definitely could, which is another 20% up to like 150-ish. But you do have the pressure from the 21, and then you also have this pressure right here too. So I would not be surprised to see stalling at minimum or maybe a little bit of a pullback. But not too bad. Good run. I'll take the percentage of that gain and be happy with it. That was my trading plan, so that's what I did. And now I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to short this or anything like that. And weed stocks were pretty good. I took all those off yesterday. It was just so frantic after that move. I was entering in weed stocks on that bullish divergence plays I mentioned on a few videos ago. And so I did like Tilray, MJ, ACB, and then this one. But I literally cleaned out most of my longs yesterday at the close just because that was just everything went so bananas. And I was happy enough with those moves. And you can always buy back in. You can literally buy back in too if you still feel confident about the trade and you get more time to go buy with data. It's the same position that you would have had if you just held it. You just locked in some of your monies. You can always buy back in. Actually, on that note, a good way to know if you're like trading emotionally or something, or maybe you're trapped or the market it ran really high, like let's say in this instance, and you didn't really have an exit plan, you can sell your shares right here. Just sell all of them because right now it's buying stocks like either free or like $1 commission. So like whatever, you can literally just sell it all and then see if you can buy it back. Because a lot of times once you sell it all and it's off your book, when you try to buy it back, like you can't. You'll be like, nah, I can't buy here. If you still can buy it back, and there's decent justification, however you're doing your analysis, or whether that's fundamental or technical or moon charts or whatever the hell you use, moon cycles, then okay, good on you. That's cool. But a lot of times that'll just kind of reset your brain because when you have a position on, you will have confirmation bias. So that's kind of a little trick. I've used that sometimes. That doesn't always work depending on what you're trading because slippage could suck. But this one has pretty tight spreads, and most stuff does have pretty tight spreads. If it doesn't, you probably shouldn't trade it. But do what you will. That's just kind of a little trick that I've used with myself that sometimes helps. Because like I said, it's the same thing. It might cost you $5, $10, $30, $50. I don't know, depending on how big your position is. But if you made some really good money on it, sell it, try to buy it back, and you're like, I can't own it here again. Then hey, that's fine. Just wait a little bit or sell half maybe. I like to do that too. Take it off in tranches is also a good way to mitigate FOMO, whether it's to the upside or buying downside, whatever, because it can go both ways. All right, I think that's it, guys. Much love. Appreciate y'all. We'll be here on Monday. Y'all have a awesome, happy Friday and great weekend. And I will see y'all next week. Peace.